Hey guys, my name is Mavi and I've spent the last 14 years in the plastic surgery and beauty industry, working alongside top board certified plastic surgeons. In that time, I've helped thousands of women in their surgical journey. My passion to educate and help women feel empowered is what led to what we now know as the Big Butts, No Lies podcast. Join in on the fun as I talk to plastic surgery experts, friends, and real life patients about all things plastic surgery. Should be fun. Hey guys, guess what? It's gonna be a little different today. It's just me. I've only had guests on the previous episodes. I mean, all of my episodes, I've had some amazing guests. And this episode, I decided to do it by myself just because this is something that I'm realizing and noticing, and I want to bring it to your guys' attention. I want y'all to pay attention to this because I've even searched online, maybe a way of finding if other people are talking about this, but I couldn't find anything. So this is just my observation. And I think it's really important because I've been listening to you guys. I've been hearing y'all in my DMs. I am listening. I want to give you guys what you're looking for. And I think what a lot of you guys are confused about, or what's holding you up, is you don't really understand the post-op care. You really don't understand maybe what you're looking for. And trust me, I get it. It's a lot. There is a lot of information, and a lot of information that sometimes you're like, whoa, did I even need to know this? Or do I need to know more of this? You kind of get left confused. So today's topic is going to be a two-way. So by request, thank you. And I'm going to give my girl right here a shout out. Ashley Janelle sent me a message asking me to really go into detail about Bruise Juice. So I'm going to do that with you guys today towards the end of this episode. But first, I want to talk about something. When I tell you guys in the previous episodes, make sure your style aligns with your plastic surgeon. Make sure your plastic surgeon style, you like it. And I think that might be confusing to y'all because y'all don't really understand what I mean. So I'm going to really explain what I mean by different style surgeons. So what do I mean by that? What do I mean by different style surgeons? So you have your surgeons who are more conservative, meaning for them, a smaller, more natural aesthetic goes for them. So they won't put in like huge implants. They will, for a BBL, their sizing and how many cc's they put in per side is probably like in the 500 to 1,000 maybe range. 1,000 is on the big side for these guys. So then you have your moderate. So these are what I call moderate. So the moderates they're more of your younger style surgeons. They're younger. They understand, what you're looking for more. If you're asking for a more hourglass, they understand that. I mean, the conservatives understand it too. But for example, if you want somebody to build out a hip on you because you have no hips, a conservative style surgeon is probably not going to do that for you. So you would need more of a moderate, or the last tier that I'm calling it is more of a noticeable look, noticeable difference. Like, I'll get to that. Okay. So your moderates, these guys, they'll give you, a nice BBL. They'll give you nice cleavage, but they're not going to go exaggerated. And they kind of sit in the middle. They do maybe like 300 to 450 is like their average breast augmentation size. Now, when we go to the last ones that I want to describe to you guys, these guys will give you a more exaggerated look. These guys, they'll put in 1,800 cc's in per butt cheek to give you like that BBL and the hips and that really drastic change. These guys, I call them it's not exaggerated because it's not an exaggerated look, but they will give you that look if you're looking for it. So like you can't ask a conservative guy to give you 1,800 cc's of fat per butt cheek because they'll look at you like you're crazy. They're going to say, no, that's not my style. That's not my aesthetic. I don't do that. And they'll send you on your way. The same way you probably wouldn't ask your, drastic exchanges, BBLs, the ones that give you like 50-inch hips and, 50-inch round measurements. Those guys, you're not going to ask them, or you probably won't be asking for like 120 cc implant, because it's, that's a tiny little implant. These guys' implants probably range around 500 average. So that's just on the type of results that they're going to give. These 3 different styles, that's just on results. Now, here's the other part, that there's a different style. Post-op care. And I know y'all are all like, yes, finally. Can we talk about post-op care? Yes. So post-op care, there's 2 ways, 2 different schools of thought, 2 different ways that people are doing it. But there's also doctors who I know are blending the styles. I know that they're blending the post-op styles. So I'm going to call one way the American way. So the US way. With the US way, we have, you can't get a massage immediately. They don't want anything touching their, work initially for the first 3 weeks, usually 2 to 3 weeks. They don't want you to get any massage. You can have a lymphatic drainage massage later. These American post-op way, they'll keep you in a binder, or sometimes they'll put you in a faja. By the time you're at 8 weeks, you're good. You don't need to wear your faja anymore. You don't need to, worry about massages. You're on your way. You're good. These guys, they'll use foam, but they're not very strict on it. They don't use anything else. It's kind of just like normal post-op care here in the US. Put on a garment, 6 to 8 weeks, light exercise. By 8 weeks, you're released. You're good to go. And then there's what we are seeing now, and the faja doctor and I have talked about how much more popular it is. It's more of I'm going to call it the Colombian style recovery. So the Colombian style recovery, it is those, massages that you get right after surgery. So the massages that you get right after surgery, I know this is the part where I'm like, I don't know, you guys, because just like I'm telling y'all everything that I know, and with everything that I know, I'm trying to put together, my own recommendation of what I think you guys should do, because my number one thing is I don't want to tell you to do anything against what your doctor's orders are. And that's where I'm struggling, because I do believe in what the Colombian style recovery philosophy is get the fluid out while the holes are open. Yeah, I agree with that. Let's get the fluid out while the holes are open. But for example, if you have a combo procedure, your plastic surgeon does not want you touching that tummy tuck initially in any massages. They're going to say no. But in Colombia, they do recommend, you get your massages right away in the first 2 to 3 days, if not the first day post-op, because the holes are still open in your back for the drainage. And on your abdomen, they push the fluid towards your drains. So it's still getting out, but it's getting out through your drain. I understand why surgeons here do not want you touching your abdomen, because when it's fresh, you don't want any tight, anybody pushing on it, moving stuff around. Like, you don't want that. But in the way they do it, this Colombian style, it's the post lymphatic massage, but it's not a manual lymphatic massage where they're actually like manually pushing the liquid towards these holes that are open and the fluid is coming out. It's more of a pushing the liquid towards the drain. So they're not really, and from what I've been explained, it's a very light massage. They're barely touching you. So with all of that, in the Colombian style recovery, they usually recommend between 10 to 20 massages. In the American style, 3, you're good. 10 to 20. And I mean, to me, 20 massages sounds like, whoa, that's a lot. But when you think about it, the first 5, let's say the first 5 are immediately after surgery. Let's say in the first week and a half, you have 5 massages, and then that leaves you 15. So then 5, and this is just if you go with 20s. I mean, it depends how you heal. You might need 5, you might need 10, you might need more. It depends really on how you and your body are healing. Okay, so 10 to 20 massages. The last massages after those first like real acute massages where you're getting the fluid out and then you're dealing with your swelling, those other massages, those can be like once a year. Like once a year, you're getting some lymphatic drainage massages, which I haven't been doing, but I'm going to begin starting 2022. I'm going to start trying to get maybe quarterly lymphatic drainage massages. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Let me know what y'all think. Okay. So in the Colombian style recovery, you stay in a stage 1 garment for 3 weeks. So stage 1 is, if y'all have heard the episode with the faja doctor, it's a very stretchy, it holds you in, but it doesn't like compress you to the point where it could cause damage. So it's softer. The fabric gives a little bit. So you stay in that for 3 weeks and then they move you to your stage 2 garment. The stage 2 garment is firmer, it holds its shape, and it really compresses. So the recommendation is you stay in your stage 2 for up to 6 months in the Colombian style recovery. So their recommendation is up to 6 months. And in there, you have your boards, you have your foam. You don't have to use the foam and the boards for the whole 6 months. That's mainly for the first month or 2, just when you really have that swelling and inflammation. And then they recommend routine use. I remember this just happened to me. I was wearing my faja pretty much, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 times a week when I was working full time. I was wearing it at least 2 to 3 times a week and my shape was great. When I stopped wearing it 2 to 3 times a week now, so I'm seeing this now, I do see a difference because I don't know if it's yo-yo, but my weight kind of fluctuates a little bit. But I can see when I gain a little bit of a different shape. And I think it's because I'm not wearing my faja all the time like I used to. And in the Colombian style, they recommend you use your faja, almost routinely, probably a few times a week. Just put it on, helps kind of everything mold back. And then you take it off again. So in the Colombian style, they also have the ab board. The ab board is so that you don't crease, your faja doesn't crease your abdomen. And they also have the foams. So those are the 2 different styles that I'm seeing. I think there's a lot of surgeons that are blending the 2 styles because they're like, whoa, this is what's happening in Colombia. And the women and everything is beautiful over there. The results that are coming out from over there are great. So we're following their steps as far as post-op. And here's the other part. In Colombia, or in that, that style, I'm calling it the Colombian style, but if y'all want to call it something else, in this style, I noticed that they take a more holistic approach to the recovery. So they're talking about what you're eating, what are you putting in your body as well as on your body. And I'm going to talk to you guys about Bruise Juice in a second, but what are you putting in your body? What are you putting on your body? They talk about even the materials of your garments. It's a different approach. When I talk and I hear, the recovery nurses, they're talking, it's more about longevity. Like we're trying to set you up for success long term, which of course, that's what we want. These are the things that I'm noticing. And what I want is for us, to be able to look at it and recognize, okay, this is the type of, look that I'm going for. And if you're going for a very exaggerated look, that kind of narrows down what type of surgeon or who you can see for your surgery. If you're looking for a very conservative look, we have to make sure we match somebody to you that is going to give you a more conservative look. And if you're looking for in between, we can find you somebody for that too. The in-betweens, I would say, are the 1,000 to 1,500 cc BBLs. The exaggerated are the 1,800 to 2,500 cc BBLs. And those are some big booties. Okay. Now, I know I've talked to you guys about it, but I don't think I've really gone into the details of Bruise Juice. So Bruise Juice, I created Bruise Juice for the community. And the reason why I created it for the community is because being in plastic surgery, being in the office, being in and seeing the patients every day, something that I learned is you don't know you're going to have sensitive skin until your skin is having a sensitivity. You don't know you're going to be having a reaction to something until it's happening. And I don't know if y'all have heard before where I talk about how even if you didn't have sensitive skin before, after surgery, your skin is like super sensitive. So that's where I go to. You don't know if you're going to have sensitive skin. The second part is you don't know when your skin is going to stain. And this is something I haven't talked to you guys about before, but I'm going to talk to y'all about it now. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you guys about something that I haven't talked to y'all about before, but I would see it all the time in the office and I would hear the doctors explain it. And it's almost one of those telltale signs that you've had work done. And what it is called hemosiderin staining. So I want y'all to look it up. So go ahead and grab your phone. You're going to go to Google and we're going to search it together. I'm doing it right with y'all. Do y'all have your phone yet? Okay, spell it out. HEMOSIDERIN. Staining after liposuction. Push enter. Now we're going to go to images. Okay, what you're going to see is some photos of bruises that stayed in the skin for too long. And what they do is they stain the skin. And it can happen anywhere that you've had liposuction. If you have a bruise there, it could happen. And I know y'all have seen it. You probably just couldn't quite place your finger on what it is. This is what it is. Hemosiderin staining after liposuction. So with Bruise Juice, we're trying to get the bruises out quickly. And from what I've heard from my patients who have used it, I've had patients who said their bruises were gone in 3 days. I've had patients say their bruises were gone in a week. So the quicker and the faster you get them out, the less possibility that you could have some staining. And I mean, after all, we want your skin to look beautiful and perfect and like untouched. So we kind of want to avoid this. And that's what we do with Bruise Juice. So you don't know when your skin is going to stain until it does. You don't know your fat isn't taking until it doesn't. Okay, but before I go too far, I do need to mention what isn't in Bruise Juice. So when you open it, you're going to see, and almost everybody's first instinct is to open it and bring it to your nose to smell it. And let me tell you, there's nothing to smell. And that's on purpose. So I've been telling you guys this whole time, your skin is super sensitive. Your skin is super sensitive. And I mentioned also the ingredients, the other ingredients and the products that y'all are using, like these products that are meant for arthritis or joint pain. So let me tell you guys what's not in it. No parabens. So parabens and phthalates disrupt your hormones. It's a chemical disruption of your hormones. Why would we be putting that on when you're in the middle of recovery? Like, why are we adding something else to the recovery journey? Something to add on in there. No artificial color. So what you're going to see is it looks kind of like it doesn't have any color. And that's on purpose too, because artificial color can sometimes cause hives and inflammation. What else you won't find is a fragrance. No fragrance, because fragrances can irritate your skin. I wish I could have added like a nice smelling, giving you guys something that smells really good. But for the reason of not putting anything on your skin that can cause a reaction, I chose to keep the fragrance out. It also does not have any mineral oil. So mineral oil can dry out your skin. And what are we talking about? We need to rehydrate your skin. Mineral oil can clog your pores and it can damage the skin layer and cause water loss. So it's the opposite of what we're trying to do, right? So these are the things that are not in it, which I almost think is more important than what is in it, really. But combined together, everything that you need, I left out everything that you don't need. So that's Bruise Juice. So when I was creating this product, and I had input from multiple physicians about what am I really aiming for? So I wanted to create a product that women who had plastic surgery could use on their skin and could use on their body, and it was not going to give them a reaction. I don't know if y'all have looked at any of the ingredients on the stuff that you've been putting on your skin or that you plan to put on your skin for recovery. But what y'all probably are not looking at are the inactive ingredients. You're probably not looking at all of those ingredients that we can't even pronounce. So these ingredients that we don't even know, I mean, alcohol, I know some of these have very heavy alcohol, which only dries out your skin, which I'll get to that in a second. But so this product, Bruise Juice, it has antimicrobial properties. So it protects your skin from bacteria and infection. It also has antinoreceptive, which reduces your pain stimuli. So what I've heard from patients who have used it is your pain medication helps with that heavy, deep, pain. Bruise Juice helps with more of that surface sensitivity pain. Bruise Juice has anti-inflammatory properties, so it reduces inflammation. It has antioxidants. It stimulates the circulation. And let me tell you guys why stimulates the circulation is so important. Because when you do liposuction, we already know you're going to bruise. We know you're going to swell, and we know you're going to have inflammation. And a lot of people think that swelling and inflammation are the same thing, but they're not. So swelling is an excess fluid buildup in the tissue. So it's very local to right where the injury is. Inflammation is the body's reaction to the injury. There's changes in the microcirculation exudation of fluid and leukocytes from the blood vessels to the area of the injury. So this is what's creating that inflammation. It feels firmer. You feel the firmness. When you're really inflamed, it feels hard. And we call it swelling. We call it inflammation. You use it interchangeably, but they're completely different. And because of the inflammation and the changes in the microcirculation is why it's so important that Bruise Juice stimulates the circulation when you're using it on your BBL. Think about it. All they say is, we don't know why it doesn't take. Some of it doesn't take, some of it does. Maybe some of the fat cells are damaged, during the process. The other reason is they don't get a blood supply. They're not getting a blood supply because there's inflammation and there's all of those changes in the circulation. It's so important to bring circulation to the area. So Bruise Juice also helps the body's own healing response. So it helps your body. It aids your body in its healing response. Here's the part that's that extra ingredient. Hello, proprietary formula. But here's the extra ingredient that I think is changing the game, because it hydrates your skin deeply. So it really goes in there and hydrates your skin, because with surgery and during recovery, you get dry skin, you get itchy. So it really helps with that dry skin, which helps with the skin elasticity, which is what we want. We want your skin to retract, right? We're trying to push that skin with the faja, with the massages, with everything. We're trying to increase that. We want that skin to look nice and firm and bouncy. We want the pigment on it to lighten. We want the texture to improve. We want the pores to be tightened. We want that skin to look tip top, right? And so that is what Bruise Juice can do. So my recommendation for using it, because that's what the questions I've been getting in my DMs. And actually, shout out to my friend. Let me find her name because she's so sweet. You guys, I love getting y'all's messages. I'm serious. When y'all send me these messages and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe you answered. I answer all of my DMs. I am on there answering you guys because it is so important to me for you to feel like you have somebody. You have somebody that you can call. I even the book a call button on my website. It's free. I'm not charging you guys. I know there's people and there's, businesses out there who are, their business is helping you find a surgeon or they're your surgery coach. But I feel like sometimes pricing, for example, if you have to spend $500 on a surgery coach in addition to everything else that you're already doing, sometimes it's not possible. And what I want is to help you, and I want to prevent you from landing in the wrong hands. So my book a call is free. Y'all can book a call with me. It's for 60 minutes. Sometimes we go a little bit longer. Sometimes they're a little bit less, but 60 minutes where you can write down all of your questions and I can answer them for you. I can go through with over everything, all of the things that you're thinking about, all of the doubts that you're like, I don't know if I want it, if I understand. I don't really understand, why do some places want massages and some places don't? I don't understand that. And these are the type of things that I want to explain to you guys, because I want you to feel sure. I want you to feel, prepared and not confused. So the book a call button on the website, write down your questions, book your call, and we can go over everything. And it's free. All I ask you guys, the way you guys can support Big Butts No Lies is by spreading the word. Send it to your friends, spread the word, because that's what I want. Like, I want as many people to know plastic surgeon red flags as possible. I want as many people to know, blood transfusion after liposuction is not normal. I want women to know this. So spread the word. Every time y'all buy Bruise Juice, you're supporting the show and just building the community that we're building, and being able to have friends who are going through the same thing. Or maybe, you're the first one in your friend group who's, taking the lunge, and you're going to be the first one to do it. And having somebody who's done it, you can ask them questions. Having your surgery BFF is so important, especially when you don't know, there's so many uncertainties. I'm telling y'all, I was nervous before every single one of my surgeries, which I know y'all want to know what I've had. Okay. So Lipo 360 BBL, tummy tuck with Dr. Newell in 2017. And then in 2018, I did my breast. I did a breast reduction lift. I have a breast implant. I think it's like a 250 or 240 cc implant. It's a very small implant, but I wanted that upper pole fullness. So when Dr. Andrea did my breast, she did a little bit of touch-up lipo, and that was in 2018. Other than that, I've done lip filler. I do my Botox. Oh, I did chin lipo in 2019 too, just so y'all know. But that's it. I haven't touched my face. My cheeks are naturally this fat and big. I've had big cheeks my whole life. Anyway, so in conclusion, oh no, I didn't tell you guys how I want y'all to use Bruise Juice. See, this is why it's tough to do an episode by myself. I lose track. So my recommendation for you to use Bruise Juice, shout out to my friend, Ashley Janelle. This is for you. So Bruise Juice, I want you guys to use it. You can start using it immediately post-op. When you go get your first massage, give it to your massage therapist and she can use it to give you your first massage. They love it because it's not like, it doesn't feel like a gel. It feels like a nice balm, like thick, something that melts in your hand, and you can easily apply it and it goes on beautifully. You don't need a lot of it. I mean, you can take some and it goes a long way. So you don't need to put a whole bunch of it on because you'll finish it fast. Even if you don't finish it fast, you don't need that much. So put it on in the morning, put it on in the evening, every day, everywhere that you had liposuction and on your BBL. In the liposuction area, especially in that, what we like to call the tramp stamp. So you're going to use it in that tramp stamp spot. You're going to use it in your flanks, right here underneath your ribs. If you've had liposuction before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Right here where your waist bends, use Bruise Juice as much as you can because it will help. It will help with that pain in your back, in your lower back, pretty much anywhere that you had liposuction, use it. Put it on there. You don't have to rub it off. You can put it on under your creams. Do not put it on an open incision. Do not put it on anywhere that's open. Only closed skin. I want you to put it on your bruised, swollen, and inflamed skin. That's what it's for. And listen, I want you guys to have it. Just like how I'm doing phone calls for free. Like, I want you guys to have it because you won't even know, man, I got a reaction from using this, or I got a reaction from doing this until you're getting it, until you're doing it, until it's happening to you. So if you have a reaction on your skin, it can be as simple as something that looks like acne, and it can go as deep as something that looks like blisters. And it can there's a wide range of how your skin can react. If you're reacting to the silicone, if you're reacting to other things. So your body's already hypersensitive. So I don't want you to put extra things that your skin could react to. I want y'all to have it. And I don't want y'all to use, lesser quality product because it's cheaper. So for all of y'all who are listening, I'm going to give y'all a coupon code. I want y'all to use it. I need y'all to use it. I'm going to give y'all a coupon code. And this is until I finish my inventory. So I do have a limited inventory. As long as I have product, y'all can use this code, Bruise Juice 30. It'll give you 30% off. For as long as I have the product, you can use it. Once I sell out, it's going to be about 3 months before restocking, just so y'all know. So if you're planning to get it for surgery next year, I would probably get it before the end of the year. You don't have to get it now, but before the end of the year, because once I do run out, it's going to take me about 3 months, maybe, to restock. And I don't want y'all to wait that long. I really don't. And you guys, if I could give this stuff away to y'all, I would. But, Bruise Juice needs to run. Somebody's got to keep the ads off this show. So I don't know if y'all have noticed, I don't have any ads on the show. And that's on purpose. I don't like having ads on. I listen to podcasts all the time and I don't like ads. And other than that, you guys know, I've been saying this whole time, I want to be in the middle. I don't care who you go to, right? It doesn't matter because nobody is in my pocket. I don't have any plastic surgeons in my pocket. And I want to keep it like that. I want to keep myself separated financially from any plastic surgeon and keep myself locked away to where I can speak the truth without fear of any type of repercussion. So just so y'all know how I keep the show alive, Bruise Juice and donations. So I don't take ads. Any of the plastic surgeons that y'all have heard on the show, I have picked. I've picked them. You can't, as a plastic surgeon, they can't pay to be on my show, to be featured. I want y'all to know that. Any of the plastic surgeons that come on the show, I've picked because I've paid attention. Either I've worked with them personally and I know them and I can vouch for them. I know they're good. Or, for example, with Dr. Azizi from the Faja Doctor, he came very, very, very highly recommended. And after speaking with him and really getting to know him before we did the show, I was like, oh, I love it. This guy's good. He's knowledgeable. He's great. He's an artist. He cares. I loved his post-op treatment. So just so y'all know, I want y'all to know this. They can't pay to be on the show. They have to get picked. They have to be chosen. And I'm very picky. I'm very picky because I kind of have an expectation of how I want you guys to be treated. And, I hear a lot of the talk from patients to each other, to me, about who's treating right and who's not treating right. And that's very important to me because I want y'all to be treated right from the start. If y'all watch that green flags video, in the green flags video, I talked about what are some green flags. So green flags to me is somebody who sits there and takes his time and talks to me. Green flags to me is somebody who understands what I'm saying. They understand what I'm asking for and they go into detail and explain, this is what you can expect. This is what we can realistically do. I want you guys to have expectations. I don't want them to be like, oh yeah, this is how we do it. And then you just accept it. No, just because you do it like that, sir, doesn't mean it's the right way to be done. So one of those things is meeting your surgeon instead of the coordinator. I want to talk to the surgeon. I don't need to talk to the coordinator. I mean, I do, but you know what I mean? I need to talk to my surgeon and for me and him to come up with my surgical plan prior to me showing up the day of surgery. That shouldn't be happening. And I really want you guys to have a high expectation of care. I want y'all to have high standards. These are my standards and you better match them because you're paying for surgery. They're not doing it for you for free. So there's a level of care that I want y'all to expect. And if you don't receive that care, those are red flags in your mind already. Like, okay, hey, maybe this isn't the right doctor for me. If they can't take the time to talk to me before surgery, how are they going to take the time to talk to me after surgery? If I have a complication, how do I even talk to anybody? And the easier it is to get a hold of them before surgery, it's going to be the same after. So in conclusion, how did y'all like my first episode by myself? It feels kind of weird because I like having somebody to, like bounce off of, but it's interesting because I already feel like y'all are my friends. I love y'all. I mean, because of y'all, I'm able to live my dream and, be with my kids as much as I can and help women and build friendships and build relationships. And I can only do it because of you guys, because of your support. And I'm so thankful. The messages that y'all send me, y'all don't know how much they mean to me because sometimes it's hard. It's hard, putting together the episodes and trying to give you guys as much as I can. So I get a lot of really great messages in my inbox and I love it. I love getting these messages. And I received a message and it was from a girl who told me that she had been on the fence about having surgery for a while and, was just really kind of scared. And that she started listening to the show and that she went through it, that she got the courage because she felt like she was more educated on what her recovery was going to be, what to expect, what surgeon to go see. She did her homework and she felt good and she went for it and she got a mommy makeover and that now she's living her best life. She feels like she's a better mom. She's a better wife. She feels like she can be more herself and she's never felt so good looking at herself in the mirror and being able to be happy with what she's seen. And you guys, those messages, I love them. That's exactly what I want for anybody who's considering it. I want you to look in the mirror and be so happy with what you see. And you just go out and you live your best life because you feel good. You're like, oh yeah, I can rock the day today because how can I not? Look at me. But don't forget, we got to do the inner work too, you guys. It's not just about the outside. You better be doing the inner work. We better be dealing with our traumas. We better be, thinking about going to therapy and making ourselves whole from the inside out, not just on the outside. I want y'all to be beautiful on the inside too, and be smiling and friendly and living your best, most courageous life. I love y'all and I hope y'all enjoyed my first episode by myself. Bye. I would like to end this episode with a huge thank you to all of our listeners. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure to subscribe to Big Butts No Lies Podcast and follow us on Instagram at Big Butts No Lies Podcast. If you have a topic you want me to cover, please send it to the DM. If you know anyone on their plastic surgery journey, be sure to recommend them the show. You can also visit us on our website, bigbuttsnolies.com. You'll see the online surgical recovery store. We're adding new items all the time. If there's something you think I need to have on there, send me a DM. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. And don't forget, new episodes every Monday. I'll see you then.